Pleasant good morning. Pleasant good Wednesday morning to one and all. Welcome to today's episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Today is Wednesday, the 6th day of August in the year of our Lord 2025, 2025. This is the year, I'm going to say, man, one of those people who praising the president, he said he joined the force in 2025 and he spent 20 years. We got to talk about it more. So welcome, you students, to this episode, the midweek episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Today is a great day, another day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Let's give praise and thanks to being in the land of the living. It is a privilege to be in the land of the living. Many persons who are not this fortunate. It is a privilege for us to come here on this program and to interact. And I love the interaction. So share the live. This morning, I got, we normally schedule the program at 7 o'clock. I had problems with the key this morning to open the gate. I had problems to open the school gate at 7 o'clock. And therefore, students were there waiting to be let in at 7. And we were a few minutes late this morning. So our apologies for that. Sometimes you can't find the right key to open. But once we got scheduled, the program was scheduled, the students are here in the hundreds, literally hundreds. This is not no bluff. We don't bluff. We come and we tell you the truth. And we have a lot of things to tell you this morning. Remember we told you election year, silly season, all sort of thing going on. All sort of thing, but when you want to get the true, credible information, come to Speaking Out. Come to Speaking Out. We are here on Mondays and Wednesdays at 11 and on Fridays at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Monday last, we came at 4 o'clock because our colleague CC explained that he had to go and get his checkup. And we are telling you people, we are pleading with you, go and get your physical checkup. Policemen in particular, you're doing a very stressful job. You get stressed from inside, you get stressed from outside. Go and make sure your health is in order. And as Commissioner Cole said, early detection can save life. Early detection, you go to the doctor, you get blood pressure, you get diabetes, you go your colonoscopy, women do the mammogram, men do the prostate. Do your checks. It is unfortunate that the system, the force, does not have an arrangement through the welfare or through plum place where people are mandated to go and do the physical check. They walk you like a ass, like a donkey, right? And in many cases, if you say you're not feeling well, they say, oh, you're malingering or you're lazy. That's what they're going to report. They will report that you're lazy and malingering. But you have to know your feeling. I always remember some years ago in Border Market, an East Indian woman, or as we would say, a Coolie woman, she made a statement that I would never forget. She said, me not kill myself to mind myself. Me not kill myself for feed myself. Something like that. Me not kill myself for mind myself. Something like that she said. And that is what you must remember. Don't kill yourself to mind yourself. You're not feeling well. You're not feeling well. Take care of your health. We had Rose just passed away just like that. Just like that. Man strong in town, come down for the squatter board day. I understand. They order him to go back into the interior because the president was visiting his division. He hustle and he bustle. Obviously stressed out. He was to go back this Sunday. They ordered him to go back immediately. So it must be hustle and hustle. Man dead. Man dead just like that. So folks, take care of yourself. Again, another great day that this Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Let's give praise and thanks for being in the land of the living. And we're going to do the roll call. We're going to make the announcements. And we're going to move into the program. As I've said, the gates were open a little late this morning. And then the man from the UK, Wayne, came in at 7:08. That is when we opened. He was followed by Sean, Carl, Tessa. Then it was from Orlando, Jakey, Clifton, Siobhan, and they kept pouring in. Vibert, and this is Vibert Larson, 9066. Winston from California. It was then Siobhan, Barbara, Ricky Smith, Claire, Evelyn, Lincoln. Then it was Selwyn, John, Dexter, Brian, Puran from the Essequibo Coast, Ivor, Kenneth, Sean, Courtney, Orin from the UK, Gibbo is here with us, Lyndon, Francis Keith from Melanie, Anthony Bradshaw from Petersall in the East Bank, Darlene, Janella, Marlon, Bonita, Gaston from Canada, Clarence, Derek, Francis Keith, Melanie, I think I said that before, Brenda, John, Ezzy. Let me put up Ezzy for you to see that we're not bluffing. Compton, Vashti, William, Pinky, Lucius is here with us, Aileen, Hazel, Morton, Aubrey, 9053 is here, David, Wayne, that was Rhonda Chance, Lorraine, another Lorraine, Marcia, Felicia, Peter, Michael from Imbai Madai, Denise, the secretary, Iva from Texas, Patrick from the UK, Queenie, then it was Denise from Florida, Diane, Michael, Umi is here with us, Anne, Fergus, Paul, Paulette, Clifton, this is Clifton from Paris, Neville, Melbourne, Glendis, Marva, Wenda, Kevin, Rawl, 11752, Uncle Paul is here with us, Malcolm, Gesri, Joseph, Pito, Magnell, Whitebird, 7464 Smith is in the house, Anthony, Neola, Fergus, come again, Rastaman, Bray, Pauline, Cloyd, Colin, Princess Earl, Lamar Springs, Malcolm, 9218, Ned is here with us. Op, Esla, Ovid, 90937, Lennox, Terrence, Vibort, another Vibort, Benji, 8948 from Myconi, Terrence from Terrence 9795 from Canada, Lynette from the UK, Gavin, and this is Gavin Hope. Then we add Colin, Ashley, Sharon, Dennis, Henrik, Jermaine, Christy Jack, Melinda, Marcus, Michael, Selwyn, this is Selwyn Smith this time, Ainsworth, DeMarque is here, Michael, then it was Lenin, Marvin, David, then it was Mary, Danielle, Cranston, Bernadette, Aubrey, another Aubrey, Floyd, another Vibart from East Bank and the Demerara Court, Annette, Emerson, Rosalind, Lorraine, Heshwan, Marcus, Rena, Dion, then it was Hazel, Kerry from Maryland is here, Joy, Carl, my squad mate from Arizona, Marvin Samo, old-time fast bowler, running fast and bowling slow. Another review, Marvin. Winslow, Leon, Dwayne, Harold, Roll, Amanda, Moses, Vivian, Ulrich, where's them? Is here. Goodbye. That's what we're going to say on September 2nd. Goodbye to the corrupt PPP government. Nigel, Gail is here from Florida, Clive from the UK, Margot, Patricia, Karen, Elroy, Claudius, Sherwin, Sian, Rayburn, Pauline, then it was Wayne, this is another Wayne Green, Cecile, Maureen, Danny is here, 9731, Boo, Alexander, Patricia Ottilie, then it was Patricia Wren, Father Masha, Sherry, Isabella, Naira, I think that's how it is wrong, Nyarra, Naira, Dave, Blackman, 62 is here, then we have Samantha, Carlisle, Siobhan, Jean, Dorette, Jacko from Georgia, Rhonda, Denhamstel, Troy, Chisel Chipper, Allison, Earl, Leslyn, George, 8727. Then it was Tyrone, Paulette, Mark, Karen, Doreen, my squad mate from Canada, Mark Martelli, then Sharon, Edward, Trevor, George from BV, Heather, Conali, Yesan from Trinidad, my cousin, Amit, Sanjin Beard, then you get Mortley, Evanlina, Gloria, then it was Marlin, Desiree, Lorraine, another Lorraine, Stephen, Doris is here. Doris, good to see you on. I know you had some issues last evening. Beverly, Joseph, Chilo is here. Tuana, Mark, Ian, Lennox, Ronald. Then it was Sempis here, Gordon, Northwest, 9, Allison, Donna, Delon, Sheena, Dennis, O'Neill. Then it was last man in the schoolyard, O'Neill. Then we had Edward, normally very early. He was here already and he come back. Stian, Altia, Arthur, Barlett come in there too. Denise, Yolanda, and the list goes on and on and on. So welcome to you students. Welcome. Let me make the announcement. You see, I told you we do that so that you can see when we tell you we have, let me take this out. When we tell you we have hundreds, you know that we ain't bluffing. We ain't telling no lie. We have hundreds in the schoolyard. Hundreds. I'm trying to take out. I see Yolanda getting additional recognition there. I know she deserved that. I don't know. Let me take it out. I don't know that you deserve the type of prominence, Yolanda. All right. So for the announcements, we start with the sad ones first. I told you on Friday, Monday, of the death of my squad mate, 9417, Julian Ains. What I failed to mention at the time, he was very prominent in the basketball, Ghana basketball fraternity. Right? He passed away recently, and we are waiting to hear of his funeral arrangements. We told you some time ago, too, of the death of Assistant Commissioner Raphael Rose, where we have some information here about his funeral. It will be on Tuesday, the 12th of August. This is viewed at the Merriman's Funeral Home from 8:30 to 9:30. Then to Caledonia Quarantine for service and burial. There will be a night of reflections on Sunday, the 10th of August from 6 p.m. at the Police Officers' Mess Annex. Right? So this is Raphael Rose, the late Assistant Commissioner, who will be buried according to what we received, the information received on the 12th of August. So viewing at Merriman's Funeral Home from 8:30 to 9:30. Then the body is taken all the way to the quarantine, Caledonia, in the quarantine, for service and burial. And there's a night of reflection Sunday, the 10th of August, 6 p.m. at the Police Officers' Mess. Right? Then, you don't rejoice over death. Let me understand this thing clearly. You don't rejoice over death. All of us have to go. We don't know when that will be. And I say this, this is a preface to the fact that this gentleman, right, the candidate, Daniel Williams, a candidate for the PPPC, was at a meeting at Agatash in Region 7, the Bartik area. Talking there, just criticizing the Mohammed, Azadin Mohammed has been sanctioned, and the man fall down and dead right there. The man was addressing a community meeting. He's stamping for the PPPC, right? Dressed in his PPP color, calling out the Mohammeds, and the man fall down right there and the man died. And some of the comments, some people say all other thing, but I found it very interesting. Some people say, look, there's powerful Obia. You call a man name, gone to them, you're telling lies on a man, and you fall down right there and die. I mean, when I looked at the thing first, I couldn't believe the man. It's not a case where this man looked like he was sick. The man stand up there looking strong. Talking. And then the man just pause and fall down, and there's a dead man right there and then. Just like that. Again, and that's why I made the point earlier. Check your health. Check yourself. Obviously, he had conditions that either he was aware or I did not pay attention to, or he wasn't aware of. But to see a man is there on social media, I am not going to share it. To see a man strong, apparently strong, addressing a gathering, right? And just fall down, so ups, dead man. It tells you there's a higher powerful being. I know people say, well, that's powerful over here, all the way from Afghanistan, voodoo, all that sort of thing. But as I said, you have got to take care. The man is a former head teacher at the school there. They said, I made a note. He's the PPC candidate, and he's a 3 Mile Secondary School at Bartica. Right? It was revealing. It was eye-opening to see a man standing there talking. He had any PPP clothes, and he just fall down on there. Right? Again, we said check yourself. People planning They're planning all sort of thing. But remember, we tell you repeatedly, man appoints, God disappoints. Obviously, God disappointed him. Obviously, God disappointed him. Right? All right. And then there's the next death that I wish to announce is the death of, as many of you may not know him, I knew him, Joseph Rajkumar. We call him Joey. He was the owner of the Payless stores. I knew Joey. I knew Joey. Whenever you see me, you call, laugh, you'd interact. Joey just died. I was told, I think it was Monday or sometime then, that he got a stroke, and I didn't follow it up. This morning, I'm reading the newspaper to see that Joey died. 61 years old. 61 years old. Check yourself. You got a stroke, never recovered, died. Never recovered and died. Right? And then I have to tell you too of today, August the 6th, is the death anniversary of Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham, our first executive president, the greatest man Guyana produced, Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham. Check the records. Don't worry, they come. You know, the funny thing is, Burnham died 40 years ago. And in the PDP campaign in 2025, 40 years after, they're still talking about Burnham. Oh, Burnham did this and Burnham. They're still talking about Burnham 40 years after. That is to show the greatness of the man. That is the show. I remember that day very well. I think it was a Wednesday. I had just returned from my first trip to England, to the UK. I was fortunate to make the West Indies full bore shooting rifle team. Right? I made the team. One of the highlights of my career, I made the West Indies team. We went there to shoot. And when I returned, I think it was a day or two after, I had to turn out on Wednesday the 6th. Right? When I turned out on Wednesday the 6th, I was an inspector then. Got the news that, well, in the morning, I think it was the 7 o'clock news, we did hear on the newscast that he had to go into the hospital for some procedure. Right? It wasn't played up. Burnham going into the hospital for some procedure. And then later in the morning, you heard that Burnham died. Right? And one of the things, too, I was an inspector and I remember I had the privilege of being one of the senator of centuries around in the culture center there when the body was laid to rest and all the heads of states and all these things filing past. I was one of the senator of centuries. I had to stand there at attention with my rifle, right? And they passed. I think, I can't remember what. We had spelled. They found some place up at the culture center for us to stay. So we relaxed there, changed, and so on. But what they did, they selected the best of the best to be at a particular time when the heads and these people were filing past. So you had other people, but I was one selected to be there when the people were filing past, the heads of states and heads of government. Because, of course, once that was happening, you could not have been relieved. You have to remain there for that entire period. It called for discipline. It called for fitness. And I was able to go through that. So, yeah, let me bring in CC. And we have something else, some other announcements to make. But let me bring in CC at this point. CC, welcome, my brother. I hope you had a pleasant night.
Yes, very pleasant. Happy to be in the land of the living to do God's work. Praise the Lord that, we here together. Now, I just want to make a couple of announcements to death. And I want to shout out to Pastor Schultz, Ovid Schultz. His mother died age 90, and tomorrow is a funeral. Pastor Schultz will normally pray for us, pray for the police force, pray for Guyana as a whole. So, Pastor Schultz, we are praying for you in the death of your mother. And also express our sympathy to the other members of the bereaved family. Let me talk a bit about death, Paul, since that you mentioned it. And I have a quote from Julius Caesar. I study literature with GC, and I got a credit. And here what Julius Caesar said. When beggars die, there are no comets seen. The valiant never taste death but once. Of all the wonders I have seen, it seems most strange that men should fear seeing that death is a necessary end will come when it comes. So death will come when it comes, and it is a necessary end. And you can't cheat death. I saw that PPP activists fell down there. First, I thought was artificial intelligence, but then I know was the real thing there. So that will come when it come, and you can't try to cheat it. Like the story I heard, Paul. It was an old year's night, and this guy was preparing to cook up, and death appeared in front of him. So he asked the thief, he said, "What are you doing here? Death I come for you. It's time for you to go tonight. Is your night to die." So the master, "How you know though?" So that pull out his paper from his pocket and said, "Look, you name there at the top here. And tonight is your night, you have to go." So the guy say, "Well, I'm cooking some cook up. And I seeing that you come for me, I got some special ingredients I'm gonna put in the cook up. And I want to stay till the pot is finished." So that's Sarah, they're gonna stay. And he stay, and after he finished, the man said, "Well, you're gonna eat some of the food?" Because what the guy did, he chose sort of sleeping tablets in the pot there. So that eat, and he was a screaming man. He asked for more. And then he said, "Man, I'm feeling a little drowsy," and he fell asleep. And this guy, well, death was asleep, push your hand in his pocket, pull out the paper he had there, the list there, and scratch out the name from the top and put it at the bottom. So that wake up that say, "Man, the food tastes good, but you make her feel drowsy, like you put some special ingredients in it." So he said, "And for your goodness, as you give me food, instead of starting at the top, I'm going to start at the bottom." And that was the end of him. So you can't cheat death. Death will come when it comes.
Yes, gonna come. Good one, good one. You can't cheat it. When it's time to go, you have to go. No matter how much money you thief, and no matter what you do. Somebody corrected me, said the death was on the Tuesday, August the 6th in 1985 was a Tuesday, not a Wednesday. So someone, the students corrected me. And while I was looking at I got some information on the funeral arrangement for we told you of the death of the father of Deputy Commissioner Simon McBean. Well, it's Borchnell Ashton McBean. They say that he will be buried on Saturday, the 9th of August. There will be 2 opportunities to view the body before the funeral service and interment. A viewing will be held from 8 to 9:30 at the Memorial Gardens Funeral Home, Princess Street, Georgetown. The body will then be transported to his residence at Philippi Farm, Quarantine, Borbies, where a second viewing will be held from 1 to 2 p.m. The funeral service will immediately followed by a second viewing from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. at Philippi Farm, Quarantine, Borbies. Interment will be at 4 p.m. at his private burial site. At Philippi Farm. Wake will be held on Thursday, August the 7th, on Friday, August the 8th, at his residence, Philippi Farm, Quarantine, Borby. So there's some information in respect to that, right? Somebody telling me the 5th, not the 6th. Bonham died on the 6th of August. You check to see if it's a Tuesday or a Wednesday. He died on the 6th of August, 1985. 6th of August, 1985. So yes, that is in terms of those announcements for that. Birthday greetings. Well, we're going to talk anything about the cricket. We're going to talk about the cricket. But birthday greetings. One of the students commented earlier that today is the birth anniversary of Sergeant A. Martelli. Can't remember that person. They say his regulation number was 3539. Today is his 85th birthday. So I don't know if he was in the special constabulary, if he was on the regular force. Martelli, 3539. And somebody said today, I remember that today is the birth anniversary of Woman Inspector Shamkin Miller. What was Miller number? 15039 or something. It's a 1500 police. I think it was 15039. Shamkin Miller, she was a detective there for years. Worked with me at Brickdam. A very competent and capable person. So today is our birth anniversary. Today's birth anniversary too was today's the birth anniversary too of a very good friend of mine, former Guyana cricketer Neil Barry, former Guyana wicket keeper Neil Barry is observing a birth anniversary today. And advanced birthday greetings are going out to retired woman GDF woman officer, Christine King. Christine is going to be celebrated, I think, tomorrow or very shortly. And then we had a teacher of mine, Paulette Garnett from BV. She is celebrating shortly too, Paulette. You know, and Paulette would always meet me. When she meet me, she would tell me that some people saying Bonham died on the 5th of August 1985. A man who was in the room here, I think he was one of the bodyguards. Look, he said, Paul, you're correct. He was in the room at the time. I understand it's the 6th of August. I'm not sure if it's a Wednesday or a Tuesday. I can't be sure, but I know they're saying it was the 6th of August. So I understand now that Martelli was in the special constabulary. When I looked at the number and I looked at the age, I thought as much. Paulette Garnett, teacher Paulette, lived on the same communal road with me. She watched me and she said, I admire you, to see how someone can turn their life around. And I know exactly what she was talking about. Because as a youth man, I was what they were called own way and wayward. But then Bonham, who's at their anniversary today, formed an organization called the Guyana Youth Corps. And as a teenager, I went into that organization. And I became so disciplined thereafter. They taught you discipline. They taught you some skills, carpentry, mechanic, electrical work, and all that. I came back a different person. From my own way, 14-year-old, I came back. This government did away with the national service because it was the youth corps. Then youth corps evolved into national service. When they came into power, they did away with national service. And we are seeing what is going on now with all the youth. There's no place for them to go. No place for them to be captured and taught a little discipline and all this type of thing. And I went alone. There are many others who came out doing well in society, right? Youth Corps, we give praise and thanks to the Bonham vision. Not the vision what I want had the other night. The television he had, not the one where he decided to come and promote people. He had a vision Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, and he decided all policemen basically can get promoted. Right? All police. So, yeah. I see some comments. And before I go again, before I hand over to CC again, we got coming to the meat of the thing, we warming up. We got a lot of announcements. Today, too, is the independence anniversary of Jamaica. Jamaica. So to all my Jamaican friends and those who are not friends, all Jamaicans, I know we have Dudley, who is normally on here. Happy independence anniversary. Jamaica attained their independence on the 6th of August, 1962 from Great Britain, right? So, yeah. So today is the anniversary. Congratulations to all Jamaicans. We are talking about them DJs and all them who playing them is Jamaican. All them, even the president, you got to think he tried to imitate Jamaican. He's an imitator, right? So congratulations to all those Jamaicans. Let me bring in CC. But again, before I bring in CC, I want the importance, Bonham Vision, Guyana Youth Corps, GYC. I joined that organization on the 3rd of October 1969 as a teenager and came out from that organization a changed person. Prepared me for life. It's true, youth corps and all them things. You got a library, you go in there, you read your novels and so on, right? Western, when you talk about the Western, I used to read all Louis L'Amour, J.T. Edson. Go in the library, you're reading. You're picking con at first, but you get confidence, you go in there. When you talk about spy and thing, Nick Carter, right? You're reading, man. You're reading because you're getting engrossed with the thing. Louis L'Amour, Sackett Brothers, and all of them, the short, insignificant Texan, right? But look, people losing so much these days because they did away with national service. Because you had the youth corps, then they had Guyana National Service. They made all sorts of complaint. Guyana National Service was such a thoughtful thing. Occupied all of those interior locations that Venezuela claiming. So you had camps Kimbia, Papaya, all those places you had national service camps, right? Occupy the ground. PPP come into power. After a while, they do away with that. And that is why when you see last night, I think it was Dr. Dexterton, PPP, we have in PPP telling you now, free education to university. All of those things Bonham had in place. Free education from nursery to university. They came and they took it away. And then you're bringing it back now and you're boasting that, oh, free education. They get a jackass like James Bond, 009 James Bond. Oh, wow, free education, you can't believe it. And I'm sure he benefited from free education at some stage. But that is what? You drink the Kool-Aid, you drink the PPP soup, and you become more stupid. That is what is happening, right? Let me bring in CC. CC?
Yeah, Paul. Jamaica, that's my favorite island. Spent some wonderful days there. And and let me tell a story about Bonham. What they tell me about Bonham, I know Bonham had vision, tremendous vision. A man with vision, and he did so much for this country. Um, During my groundings with my brothers in Ochorius, one guy say, Bonham, him get class, him get class. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, him there at Ochorius Ochi, and him talk to Morris Bishop, and him get a mouth suit, him get mouth shoe, him get mouth socks, him get mouth tie pin, him get mouth pen. He said, and Bishop offer him a cigar, and he said him take out one mouth lighter and light the cigar. He said, that class man. And when we look at the prime minister and them how they presenting themselves and things, and so you want to know, Bonham must have been crying in the turning in his grave there. You see a prime minister just like a cowboy, like he getting back down and them thing. Man said, Bonham, everything's Marv. And him take out one Marv lighter and light the cigar. You say, that class, man, that class. So apart from him being well dressed, he had vision and he had good intention for this country, although you run into some international problems. But he was a great leader.
And he was very eloquent. You don't forget that. That rapper, very, very eloquent. Very eloquent. One of the more eloquent speakers we ever had. But in them days, you had good speakers. Fred Wills, Bonham, Sonny Ramphal, and all those people were eloquent speakers. Now you get people who can't talk. They come and tell about shitting in bucket and that sort of thing. Jack, they were telling people about. Bonham would have told you the same thing without using those crass and obscene words. Right? You got to go back and study them things that get an after effect. He tell you, he cuss you out in nice language. Like Desmond Hoyt. Desmond Hoyt told a certain man, I got to call his name, let me see how much you all know. This man was being accused of being a womanizer. Then he was accused of being an homosexual. So they're saying this man is a womanizer. There's Hoyt. They claim that Hoyt said, it is alleged that Hoyt said he's a womanizer and that he was also a homosexual. So in an interview, this man who's been accused of being a womanizer and a homosexual said, well, I don't understand. Mr. Hoyt won't make up his mind. At one stage, he accused me of being a womanizer, and the next stage, he accused me of being an homosexual. He must make up his mind. So the question was put to Hoyt. And this is what Hoyt said. I memorized that. Hoyt said, as far as I am aware, the two proclivities are not mutually exclusive. Let me repeat that, Desmond Hoyt. Words. He said, as far as I'm aware, the two proclivities are not mutually exclusive, meaning that you could be one and the other at the same time. Language, man, language. They don't get command of the language now. They come, even the one that's not using enough big word and so on. They don't have class. Well, they get class, last class. That's what they have. Yeah, Mohammed Shahabudin and all this type of thing. And I want to remind me of a man, Dusty Fogg, where we talk about reading cowboy books, Dusty Fogg. They used to describe him as a short, insignificant Texan. The fast gone. We read and we learned. We read and we learned. Right? We read and we learned. And we used to do with them days, either the cowboy book with Sergeant Ragja and all them type of thing. You buy enough them comic book. You buy one with the little money and you would share it around. You read past this one, nobody buy one, they read the past to you, that's where you going on. That's how we go on. So apart from the library, you got a one, JT Edson or Louis L'Amour. Louis L'Amour was again the most popular one with Sackett Brothers and all them thing. And you read, and when you're done, you pass it to somebody, they give you the one that they finish, and that is what we did as part of our Peter. We play games and so on too. But we read, we improved our vocabulary. Now you get them can't read, they can't write, they tell you say they've been at other university, including University of Iflak, and they're dunce like a crab. Now let me move on. Talking about dunce. You know, this place called Guyana is an amazing place. Sometime in April, right? The President of the United States, Donald John Trump, announced tariff, wide-ranging tariff to a lot of countries around the world. And Guyana was put in a 38, I think it was a 38% bracket for tariff, right? Everybody, ball, oh God, there's export. Things were exported from Guyana into the U.S. except oil. Now, something happened, because it was a 90 days window, I think, and the tariff was reduced from 38% to 10%. Right? Follow me carefully. Then last week, the Trump administration announced that the tariff on Guyana is now being increased again from 10% to 15%. That is the latest, from 10 to 15. And I see people writing, them people claiming they're thanking them for the reduction in tariff. But if this thing was 10%, and it got to 15%, how in heaven's name these people celebrating this reduction? You know, maybe I ain't got to school that day, and I'm happy that I did not go to school that day. It was 38, reduced to 10, increased to 15. And they're celebrating that as a victory, this thing decreased and all these other things. So I don't know, maybe people like Winston Jordan and all these people who are brilliant economists and mathematicians, maybe they can explain. But this little country boy from Baron Bagdam can't understand if it was 10 and it has now gone up to 15, how that can be celebrated as a decrease. I don't know. Again, I say these mystifying things, maybe CC can tell me. Let me bring in CC where he can explain. CC, can you explain how something that moved from 10 to 15 is being described as a reduction?
Well, I didn't go to school today. And like you, I'm happy that I didn't go to school that day. But since we were talking certain things, let me go back to this, Heights, I remember his two children died in a crash on the highway. And he went straight to Mackenzie, I think it was a Labor Day, and addressed the people. And, and subsequently, I think it was coming down to election time too. And Gail Tisher was there. And in one of her speech, she went on Bombay's Height. She's saying that Height didn't get no emotions. His children died, and he shed no tears. He didn't cry for them and all kind of thing, And when I put the thing to her, I'd say, how she knew that? How she knew that I didn't shed any tear, that I didn't grieve for my children? She is not my concubine. Full stop. When he done with you.
No, but
Those were statements.
I remember that, CC. The man emphasized on me. He said, how did Gail Tisher know that? She is not my concubine. She is not the man emphasized on the word my, put emphasis on mine. You can't remember that, CC?
Yeah, I remember clearly.
My concubine.
And
right? That people with words, man, they're gonna come across and tell you what your F and your S, like what them chapters do, like what the Scottish accused of doing. They add the command of the language, and therefore they use that knowledge and command. Now, let me tell you about the next conjab. So again, I invite Mr. Winston Jordan, maybe tomorrow or sometime, he can tell us how, because I know he's a regular student in this class, how if this thing was 10 and it is now 15, how that is viewed as a decrease. Perhaps, as I say, I went to school that day. I did not go to school that day. Now, our next conjab, C-O-N, the next conjab is this reduction of bridge. The toll, the reduction, the doing away of toll to the bridge. Again, I will invite Mr. Winston Jordan to explain to us. Government said that beginning August 1, No tolls will be paid at the Bobby's Bridge, the Demerara Bridge, I think it's the Linden Bridge. No toll, right? It will be free. Well, I went to university, and when I did economics 101, Professor Clyde Thomas, the large lecture theater used to be full. And he told us that there's nothing like free, right? There are costs associated with everything. If it's not a financial cost, it is an opportunity cost, and all those things were explained. I remember that going to UG because I say he went to a proper university. But they're telling us that this thing is free. But here, let me show you all this. Let me show you all. I get the evidence, look. When you cross the bridges, you're issued with a receipt. And look what the receipt says. This is someone who crossed the Bobby Bridge on the 3rd of August. Is it 3rd? August 3, yes. And look what's going on here now. You see what it mark here? Look at mark, private car. Then they say, look, minus 2,199. Right? So in other words, the person who crossed it and pay. Right? But look what this says here. GOG, Government of Guyana Private Car Subsidy. Comrade, you're getting can all over. Government of Guyana Private Car Subsidy. You know what I mean? I'm going to ask Mr. Jordan, perhaps tomorrow or some other day, to explain it to the masses. It simply means they will get this receipt because they have a record of all of this. And the government of Guyana, all of us, will then have to pay. So it's not, if you cross with your car, you're not going to pay there and then. But all of us Guyanese, once you're a taxpayer, you have to pay for those crossings. That's what the subsidy means. Let me put it back here. It says, Government of Guyana Private Car Subsidy, minus 2,199.99. Right? Total sales 1 cent. I understand this to mean that all of these receipts will be provided to the government of Guyana, and the government of Guyana will pay. So all are we paying? All of us are paying. And the question is asked, again, I'm going to invite Mr. Winston John to explain this, because when these things are done, one would expect, that the trucks, for example, that bring in greens from the quarantine, now they don't have to pay the crossing of the bridge, that it might be passed on to the consumer, where there can be a reduction in the cost of greens, ground provision, and vegetables, and so on. It would expect that the taxis coming, 63 route taxis traveling from Molson Creek to Georgetown now that the other way around, traveling from Georgetown to Molson Creek, they don't have to pay toll, so you expect to pass it on to the consumers. That end up meaning, let me understand it clearly, that end up meaning all these things are designed to get votes, buy-in votes. That is what they're doing. Buy-in votes. So again, is all of us are going to be paying. We better talk about the reduction, because at the end of the day, let me pick sense out of nonsense. The bridge got to operate same way. The bridge or those bridges have to operate the same way. You have to get staff. You have to pay electricity bill. You got to get maintenance. All of them. All. So all of us will now pay. Whether we use it or not, we will all pay. So let me understand. So they come out, oh, we're free. And you got people like Ashley Singh, the shot man. Somebody they called him some years ago. It is alleged that he was called a short crook. But like they're not like the thing ain't gone yet. That they're conning people, and you got to understand. You all share the life, man. They're conning people. They're conning, and who are going to be benefiting? Look at the bridge. That same Bobby's Bridge. They took money from the New Building Society. When the man who was in charge of the New Building Society said the law does not allow them to give them amount of money the job they wanted, they charge them, concoct charges. I'm going to read it back to y'all again. The book is there. I invite y'all to read, to buy and read the book. The name of the book, again, I got it right here. I don't get it too far from, look at it here. Hijacking of the New Building Society. When they couldn't, when the man quite professionally said, look, we cannot do that because the law does not allow. Maurice Arjun, Ken Vincent, and Kisul Baldio, those men were trumped up charges. I know the sad thing about it. The current Attorney General was one of the liars defending the people in the, I think. It is alleged. Let me put it right, it is alleged. I haven't read the book. I haven't reread it in a while. That is what's going on. They take NIS money invested in the bridge. And you can't get no increase in NIS pension and so on because the money tied up and the people, other people who put in money, they getting the money first. They're getting the benefits on their investment. That is a con job. It is a con job. This way, they were free, not like free. The individuals who are using it are not paying individually, but all of us, because let me show you again what it says here. It says here, Government of Guyana private car subsidy. In other words, Government of Guyana will pay for the private car. Who is Government of Guyana? Where are they getting the money from? It's we paying for it. It's we citizens got to pay. Let me bring in Mr. Conway, man. Let me bring in Mr. Conway. See, this can job, man. This can job. Let me hear you.
Yeah, and we don't know it's a con job because the government paying paying back the people there, the owners of the bridge. And as you mentioned, it's our money, it's taxpayers' money going back there. So what I say is that you could travel there free. No. We paying, and that's the old story. The
Yes,
economy.
Mary. Mary's asking the question, Mary's asking the question, and Mary wants to know, she was just about to ask that she never crossed the bridge, and if she's still paying, yes, all of us have to pay. That's what I mean by subsidy. Well, that's what I mean. That while the taxi man, the private car man, or the minibus man who crosses the bridge, the truck man who crosses the bridge, they are not paying directly. But the government of Ghana will be billed for every single vehicle that crosses the bridge or those bridges. Every single vehicle, the government of Ghana will pay. Because now you understand, if that was not so, then you would just cross. There was no need for a toll booth to give you a receipt and all them type of thing. Let me understand it. Let me say, well, look, if it was free, rail free, nobody pays for it. It means there would not be a need for any booth. You got to stop again no receipt. You just drive, open Sapolka, drive. But that is not so. You have to stop. You have to be issued with a receipt, and therefore a record is being maintained so that the government will be billed for the number of vehicles that cross. The government will be billed for the number, and who is the government? Who got to pay? It's we taxpayers' money got to pay for it. So we understand this thing clearly. Y'all don't take this can that we're going on. Now, they got a matter that I want to bring to attention before it gets a little too stale. It broke my heart when I read this thing. I can just read a part. It broke my... I'm going to read this thing, and then I'm going to show you. Wife of man abducted in Main Street makes emotional plea for justice. Oh, I mean, I tell myself I'm a tough guy. Tough emotionally. Maybe even physically. For a 70-year-old man, I'm doing well. I read this thing the day before yesterday on the 4th, and it brought tears to my eyes. I saw the video, and I'll show you the video. Lisa David, the wife of abducted Joshua David called Bricks, has made an emotional plea for justice and closure, even as she complained of mounting frustration over systemic failures. 10 months after David was abducted on September the 26th, 2024 on Main Street, Georgetown, he is yet to be found. Cameras around the city were reviewed as part of the investigation, according to the police. Lisa David revealed that although she initially hesitated to share the full details due to the sensitivity and emotional toll it takes on her, she feels compelled to speak now. I said to myself that I was not going to do it because it is a sensitive topic. And every time I do speak, I break down. And so at times, I don't know where to start from. That was a quote, end of quote. She said in a video. She said that her husband was abducted by 7 men and that it was captured on camera with clear evidence. Despite this, she said all 7 suspects were released on bail, and this triggered frustration within the family. She lamented the slow, irregular process of the case, noting, quote, we go to court every time. We go to court, it's a different day. And a different day. All I'm seeking is closure. My family deserve the closure, end of quote. With another court date approaching soon, Lisa David remains hopeful despite the slothful process she decided subtle push. She said, quote, all I'm wishing to get out of this court date is justice. Justice for my husband because he deserves it as a human being and as a citizen of Guyana. You can run from man, but you can't run from God, end of quote. David kidnapping had been captured on video by someone in a vehicle who then forwarded it to reporters. In the video, 5 men could be seen pushing David across the main street as he attempted to fight them off. The 7 men accused of the abduction were released on $500,000 bail each when they appeared before the magistrate at the Georgetown Magistrate Court on October the 11th. Then I go on telling the name of the men. I'm not going to go through that. The prosecutor objected to bail on the grounds that the police had received information that the victim was murdered and the search for the body was ongoing. The prosecutor also told the magistrate that the police had CCTV footage that captured the accused in the commission of the crime and eyewitnesses to the crime. However, the magistrate overruled the prosecutor's objection, citing that the crime was a bailable offense under the Act and that the police had not found a body. In November, Crime Chief Wendell Blanham had stated that the Guyana Police Force was transforming intelligent information into evidence in order to locate Joshua David, who they hoped was still alive, despite the fact that the information does not point to a positive outcome. Blanham emphasized that a person's disappearance, 7 years, that after a person's disappearance, 7 years must pass before the person can be presumed to be dead, right? Then they say in September, Office of the Regional Division 4A and 4C conducted searches in the Buckton Backland, East Coast Demerara, as part of the investigation. Several ranks ventured into the Buxton Backland with dogs in search of the missing man. The team spent hours combing the area with no success. A group of about 70 people are gathered in front of New Tribune to protest and so on. But let me understand. Before I go in further, let me play this emotional plea by the wife of this man. Then I want to make some more comments on Mr. Conway. It's just about 3 minutes long. Yeah, listen to what the orderly lady going through. Listen.
Hey guys, most of you guys already know me already, and some of you guys do not know me at all. My name is Lisa David, and I am the wife of the young man that was abducted on the 26th of September 2024 in front of New Tribune Restaurant in Georgetown, Guyana. Like I said, my husband was abducted on the 26th of September in front of a busy restaurant in Georgetown, Guyana. I'm here to express my frustration, my anger, to the failed system that we have in Guyana. Not only the system failed my husband, it failed many others, and I am one of those angry person, one of those angry family, to know that this is the system that we have in Guyana. Just to give a little highlight on my husband's story. My husband was abducted by 7 men. It's on camera. They have proof, they have everything. He was abducted, and all 7 of the guys, they were released on bail, and basically that was it. We go to court, and every time we go to court, it's a different day. It's a different day. It goes to a whole nother different day. All I'm seeking is closure. I deserve, my family deserve the closure, and so much of family and stuff been happening to them. We all deserve the closure. We have another court date coming up very much soon, and like I said, all I'm hoping and I'm wishing to get out of this court date is justice. Justice for my husband, because he deserves it as a human being and as a citizen of Guyana. He deserves to have his justice. He deserves to have justice, because it's not right. It is not right. It is so not right. And like I always say, if it takes now 5 years, 1 year, you can run from man, but you can't run from God. And I know there's a God, and I know he's gonna get it. I know he's gonna get it.
So emotional. So emotional. The man abducted in the middle of Georgetown. These people talking about security. They're talking about transparency. Robeson Ben, Anil Nandalal, Jagdeo Ali, the squad taking, Blanham. In the middle of the town, a man is abducted. You got video evidence to show this man is abducted. They started immediately a big search. Forensic vehicle and all sort of thing went in the back. And this is alleged that when it would appear as though the people were getting close, the search was called off by a senior officer in Georgetown. This is the allegation. The search was called off, I think the Friday, and then they resumed it the Monday or something like that. And the allegation is the search was called off to give the perpetrators enough time to dispose of the body. And up to now, up to day like today, the 6th day of August 2025, they can't find this young man. He was abducted. And what is even more galling, and I commented on it at the time, that this man abducted, the body not found, or he is not recovered. The people charged with abduction. And then they're saying that the magistrate remarked to say that the magistrate overturned, the prosecutor said that bail should be refused, which I agreed with. A man is abducted and he's not found. The people are charged. The prosecutor makes an application for bail to be refused. The magistrate said, no, it's a bailable offense under the act, and that the body and the areas and under the act, and that the police had not found a body. The police had not found a body. Oh my God, where are we? That is the reason why the people should be remanded. They had not found a body, they had not found the person. So the presumption is that the person is dead. What if they know? There are several cases, including the Guyanese jurisdiction, right, where people are charged and convicted for murder without a body being found. I remember a famous, well, I call it famous, a case in New York, right? Irene Silverman, a lady by the name of Santi Kimes and her son. This Silverman lady was some socialite in New York. They inveigle away into the woman thing, they kill she for she property and so on. Body never recover on today like today. Santi Kimes and her son were convicted for murder. I got to follow up to see whether they were executed or whether they're still in jail. Right in Ghana not so long ago, there was a case where persons convicted for murder and nobody was found. You might very well have other strong circumstantial evidence. Strong circumstantial evidence. And then here the crime chief. The crime chief of Guyana, Deputy Commissioner Wendell Blanham, according to this article, he says in November, the article said November, crime chief Wendell Blanham has stated that the Ghana police force was transforming intelligence information into evidence. I don't know. Toro, help me out here. Is there anything like intelligence information? Talking to myself here all the time. I touched the thing. Let me read that back for y'all. I was saying, let me go back. I don't want to miss anything. Sorry about that. I inadvertently touched something and the thing went mute. Right? Now, let me go back that. The magistrate, when this case came up, this abduction case, the prosecutor objected to bail on the grounds that this man had not been recovered. And the magistrate said, she overruled the prosecutor's submission, citing that the crime was a bailable offense under the act and that the police had not found the body. I said, that's the reason. There is even more reason where the people should be remanded because the man had not been found. So the presumption is that he's dead after a period of time, right? And then, as we say, in November, Crime Chief Wendell Blanham has stated that the Guyana Police Force was transforming intelligence information into evidence. I don't know. I don't know about intelligence information. Maybe I don't know. I know you get intelligence, you get information. I know a distinct difference between intelligence and information. But the crime chief said they were transforming intelligence information into evidence in order to locate Joshua David, who they had hoped was still alive, despite the fact that the information does not point to a positive outcome. Right? That's what he said. Now, Blanham emphasized that after Paulson's disappearance, 7 years must pass before the person can be presumed dead. I made the point there when I was speaking to myself that there are cases. I recall a case in New York, a lady by the name of Irene Silverman, I think that's the name, right? Went missing. Sante Kimes and her son were charged for the murder of Irene Silverman. The body, up to today, has never been recovered. They were convicted for murder, for murdering this woman. There was a case not so long in Guyana, right, where someone was convicted for murder and the body has not been recovered. Yeah, so a person can be charged and convicted for murder even if the body is not recovered. Of course, you have to have strong circumstantial evidence. But I don't know what is wrong with these people. And let me tell the crime chief this. I know that's doing research, Let me tell you what the 7-year rule that he's talking about. Students, y'all listen. Listen carefully. Make your notes. Share the live. The 7-year rule that Blanham is talking about is that in many jurisdictions, a missing person is legally presumed dead after being missing for 7 years. Listen to this. In many jurisdictions, a missing person is legally presumed dead after being missing for 7 years, with no communication and no evidence of continued life. This presumption arises regardless of the reason for the absence. However, some jurisdictions may have different time frames or require a court declaration after a shorter period, particularly if there's evidence suggesting that the person's death. Listen to this carefully. It is saying, let me read it back. Let me read it back. In many jurisdictions, a missing person is legally presumed dead after being missing for 7 years, with no communication or no evidence of continued life. This presumption arises regardless of the reason for the absence. However, some jurisdictions may have different time frames and require a court declaration after a shorter period, particularly if there is evidence suggesting the person's death. Mr. Crime Chief, given regards to the circumstances here, you don't believe that there is circumstantial evidence suggesting that this man, David, is dead? Can you not then approach a court to declare that this man is dead? And therefore, this person who abducted this man, the charge goes up to murder? I'm just asking, you're the liar. You're the liar, COVID liar, nevertheless, but you're the liar. Isn't there a process where you can approach a court with evidence of the abduction and all that, and whatever evidence you have, right, to make a case or ask the court to make a presumption that this man is dead? You believe that this man who was abducted since September, with all the effort y'all make, y'all believe he's still alive someplace? You believe that he is still alive? Look at this emotional plea by the man's wife. But these people are heartless, and that is the problem. Let me bring in Mr. Conway. I have a few more things to say on this. Let me bring in CC. CC, go ahead. Have your say, man.
Well, the wife has a right to be emotional and looking for closure. And this 7 years, Blanham tell you, he done there. They won't make any other effort to think there. Wait till 7 years and then, And then what happened with all the equipment, what I said again? Pie in the sky or eye in the sky and all the cameras that I get that would replace boots on the ground. What happened in investigation? And Paul, I remember some cases, where persons get killed on the high seas more though. Persons were charged in some instances where nobody was recovered, none whatsoever. I remember years ago, as a sergeant, I prosecuted a matter at Kurupung. A man got charged with murder, and we didn't have a postmortem report. We didn't know the cause of death because the body was so badly decomposed that they had no cause of death. His defense lawyer was do not sing, and me and do not have ding dong battle because the GPP then he and George Jackman give me some great loss, and which I quoted, and I remember after the session, do not sing say where you quote all them dollar from, man, where you get them dollar from, But I had a good relationship with the DPP. That even though you recover a body, you could still get charged with murder. You could still get charged with murder. But they're making enough effort. They're making effort in this matter. The lady need closure, and she must get closure. And how you want to instill public confidence in the police when the crime chief going to tell you, "Hey, we know after 7 years you don't hear anything on the person, you're going to presume dead." It is their duty to find out what happened with the person. Go all out. Let us know whether he's dead or alive. Let us know, Dave. And as you mentioned, understand when they were about to break the case, a certain man who's now a deputy commissioner, it is alleged, tell them pull out from the case, and then they bring them back to town. And then afterwards, they send them back. By then, the thing run cold. So, it's not proper police investigation. And I still believe that although you recover anybody, and so there could still be a charge with murder.
Yeah, I love my students, talk about Santi Kimes and her son. One, thank you, Harold. The son name was Kenneth Kimes, Kimes. Yeah, I'll go research it, man. Santi and Kenneth Kimes. Maybe the crime chief will also look at it too. Santi and Kenneth Kimes, convicted for murder of Irene Silverman. The body has not been found on today like today. Whatever they did with the body, not been found. And I recall, I will research it and bring to your attention a case in Guyana within the past year where a person was convicted for murder and they didn't find the body. So you have evidence here of this man being abducted in Main Street. Main Street. You have video evidence. I understand they have eyewitness who saw this thing too. They charged people for abduction. So therefore they knew who abducted the man. Well, they know who abducted. 7 persons charged with abduction. Is it not right to presume that they too are responsible for this man's murder? On the same evidence, you're going to want to convict them for abduction. They abducted the man and the man died. The man is presumed to be dead. Go to a court and let the court make a decision whether this man can be presumed dead or not. Go to the court, man. They got to law school. Some of them, the legal brains would have lost all the legal significance. All. Because some of these things that come and tell people, I can't understand. I can't understand, but it's part of the whole corrupt process. It's part of the entire corrupt process because the allegations, the rumors are there as to who were the person involved in this abduction and presumed killing. Abduction and presumed killing. And there's not somebody tell in Vibes Cartel case. Ask Irfan Ali, he entertained Vibes Cartel the other day and Martel Samuels, the cricketer. In Vibes Cartel case, he was convicted for murder and they didn't find the body. He convicted, he got all the way to the court, what they call it, the Privy Council. At least the Privy Council said he was convicted in the Jamaica High Court for murder and the body was never found, still has not been found. So it is not necessary to have a body to have a conviction for murder. So we understand this thing clearly. Let's understand. And don't forget this, as the lady said, it's not an isolated case. Back in October 26th, it was reported in Stabrook News that a wanted bulletin was out over the kidnapping of an ex-policeman in Buxton. Y'all remember that? They said 6 months after former policeman Dylan Alexander called Portmore was abducted in Boxing, East Coast, the Ghana Police Force has issued wanted bulletin for 2 men who are the main suspects. What has happened with that case? The Ghana Police Force issued wanted bulletin for Mark Cromwell, also known as Diamond, of 42 or 40 Lat Vigilance, East Coast, Demerara, and Kevrel Atton, known as Smokey of Vigilance, right? For the abduction of Alexander. The incident took place on March 7th, Church of God Road, Boxer, East Coast, Demerara. And they said he wanted with information, blah, 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 blah. Right? So, that's a meanwhile, the man passed another milestone today. That was on the 26th of October. And his family is still hopeful that he's alive. The man was expected to celebrate his 36th birthday. He was an ex-policeman and a gold miner of Mount Repose on the east coast of Demerara. Not an isolated case. And you want to tell me these people deserve to get a second chance to go and continue to do the same thing? That is what you want to tell me? This man abducted in high daytime Middle Street. I want it sinking, you know. I want it sinking. This man, David, high daytime in Georgetown, right? High daytime in Georgetown. The man is abducted. Video show. He's not alleged to be abducted. He's abducted. We see video. They pull in, put in a vehicle. He fighting. He got in the vehicle. Abducted. Georgetown. And they tell you about safe city. And they tell you all sort of crap. Right? The place is unsafe. Especially if you are associated or if you are not associated with certain people. Same person, Commissioner Cole. Same person. So, daytime, understand this? This man, other man, abducted in Buxton. All of these people are presumed dead. Both of them are presumed dead. I'm sorry to say it so, but madam, I understand your emotions and all of that, but you know deep down in your heart that your husband is presumed to be dead. Somebody killed him, murder. They abducted him and they murdered your husband. That is the reality. Because after almost 1 year, I don't think you expect that your husband is going to emerge. You want closure, yes. But the closure that you're seeking for is not the re-emergence of your husband. It's evidence that he was killed and people tried for so that you can get justice. That's what you want. Right? And yes, somebody reminded me, Alex Vaughn. Police Sergeant Alex Vaughn killed. Let me go up to it again. It's 507 days today. Alex Vaughn killed on March the 12th, 2024. And these are the people who tell you about all kind of things. They tell you about transparency and all kind of word they're using. Police sergeant killed. In the line of duty, they say nothing. This man, Brick, abducted in the middle of Georgetown. Let me understand again, Main Street, the middle of Georgetown, just a stone's throw from where the president official residence is and the prime minister. Paper shards. Ricardo Fuguenes killed, execution style, a stone's throw away from where the president lived. A stone's throw from the president's residence. And that is what you telling me that these people deserve to go back there again? Something got wrong with y'all. Let me say this. I'm going to talk about the promotion, man. Y'all share the life. Share the life. I'm going to talk about this illegal and lawful promotion. Again, I saw a few days ago, it was on the 3rd of August. You know, not so long ago, about 4 months ago, they had a killing in Linden where the 2 men, Peters and Fortuné. Peters died the afternoon. The police sergeant charged with a murder. And then the next day, during a protest, Keon Fortuné shot and killed. And it was the day before yesterday, the Sabrok News, other article, right? Saying that no update on probe into Keon Fortuné shooting family members. President did not keep his promise. President did not keep his promise. And you know, they went there over the weekend. And they're talking all kind of thing. Oh, we're going to turn Region 10. Well, let me tell you all this. If having regards to all they did to Region 10 and Linden in particular, the killing of those 3 men, when Ikin was in charge some years back, then you get more recent killing of the 2, right? Peters and Fortuné. And y'all telling me that these people in Linden are so blind that you haven't seen what happened there? And it was almost 4 months after he was shot dead by a member of the Guyana police force during clashes between protesters and the police in Linden. The family of Keon Fortuné is reminding of the promises made by the President Irfan Ali while keeping up their demand for justice. Meanwhile, the Director of Public Prosecutions is still to provide advice regarding Fortuné's shooting death. Still to provide advice. Then it goes on, Vanessa Clark, the mother of Fortuné, in an interview with Stabrook News, highlighted the unfulfilled promises made by Ali at the Watuga Guest House in Linden. Despite assurances meant to bring resolution and justice, she lamented that no concrete action has been taken, recounting, quote, all that the president talked about at the Watuga Guest House in Linden, nothing has been done up to now. This thing is really stressful, really stressing me out and bothering me. I can't live with it just like that. And I don't want to live like that. I need justice for Kian, end of quote. Clark described her ongoing grief, frustration with the authorities, and the absence of support for Kian's 4 children who continue to struggle in the aftermath of their father's untimely death. Quote, I'm still in a grieving position right now. My memory goes. I don't even remember things. They don't even give Karen children public assistance. Nothing. End of quote, Clark said. They're alleging that a policeman killed this man. Nothing has happened. They say, well, Branham did say they have nothing to do with the investigation. Remember, the crime chief, Mr. Conway, remember he said that the CID of which he is in charge has nothing to do with the investigation of the murder of Kian Fortuné. Nothing. And you want to tell me that these people in Linden in particular can say, give these people a second chance? Second chance? Get rid of these corrupt people. Get rid of them, Mr. Conway?
Yeah. And the whole thing, is so much about corruption, incompetence, incompetence, and the crime chief saying he's a crime chief, a deputy commissioner, an attorney at law, and he's going to say that the CID had nothing to do with the investigation. This whole thing boils down to ballistics, forensic evidence, and it's the forensic people has got to do the investigation. They bring in the one from Barbados, Ross, and up to now no report on the sound was submitted, and the crime chief saying that CID had nothing to do. So how they gonna know which gun? Did they seize the guns? Did they swap people's hands? Did they recover any spent shell and try to trace it? Like how they did on the East Coast, where they find a fragment and say this weapon that was used by the securities, this weapon fired a fragment. The fragment not tell about, So with the Linden issue now, the CID had nothing to do with it. They said OPR and RAS. And the other day I was reading in papers in Barbados, because Barbados is going through a period where they have a lot of gun crime, serious crime involving firearm. And you know what they're looking at? They're looking for overseas assistance. Them man get into RAS, RAS, they're right in Barbados, and they now go to RAS, but they're going for overseas thing to help them in the fight to this gun crime. But we the tilling, and we picking up RAS from there and bring RAS here for doing in investigation. Yeah. So it's total incompetence and unprofessional behavior that the CID now investigate no more though. That the CID ain't doing no forensic investigation, and this case would be tied up to forensic investigation. And they can't do because they get a woman who went to Russia and spent 5 years, graduate forensic science, and she did a place that she didn't get no training for. She did training. She's a head of training with no training background, and where she study forensic science, and understand she did extremely well, and she not being exposed. And quite a number of crimes in this country here, they need forensic investigation, and that is not being done. Therefore, we can't solve crime. I'm going back to the point where Barbados, a lot of gun crime now, they're balling, but they're looking for outside assistance. They ain't checking upon Ross and them for do the investigation.
Yeah, you know, and one of the students reminded me here, very good reminder, Danny, that this, you know, when you said the crime piece, Branham was saying that after a person's disappearance, 7 years must pass before the person can be presumed dead. This man was abducted, crime chief. It's not disappearance. He was abducted. It's not a missing person. He was abducted. People pull him and put in a vehicle and carry away. So it is easier to presume that harm has become him, that he did. It's not a disappearance where you don't see and then you know where he gone. Maybe he gone into hiding. This man was abducted. And thanks for reminding me about that, Danny. Former detective, brilliant detectives. So, Mr. Crime Chief, this is not a case where this man is an ordinary missing person or ordinary disappearance. The man, there's evidence that he was abducted. And after almost 1 year, you can't find him. You have to presume that the worst has become of him. He dead. So I would hope that they would go to some court and get that the man presumed dead. And therefore, that charge of abduction should be upgraded to murder. If they can find them, of course, because if you put them on bail for $500,000 bail, this is a thing they found very easily, right? That is the story. And, you know, again, coming back to Linden before I move on to this promotion scam, right? Coming back to Linden, you have people like Figueroa and others. Well, forget about Shanghai and them. Shanghai is a prostitute. I once told him that he has no political allegiance and loyalty. And I told him that if the Chinese were to start a party and he see he could get a little race on them, he can run, go right. And I maintain that. But a man who represented the region, Figueroa, during all of these atrocities, the killing back in 2012, I think it was, or whenever it was, the killing then, and then the killing of these people 4 months ago, and this man, they're talking about people, the people who he was put there to represent, the people who he should have represented. Then the man talking how he began up the PPP, a murderous administration like the PPP. This man, they have absolutely no bloody shame, none whatsoever, none. Now let me talk about this Kanjab promotion. The Kanjab promotion. Remember the president went there on last Wednesday, the 30th of July. They assembled so many ranks from all over the police force, telling them they're going to get promotion. He promoting them. He had this vision. You know the difference between a vision and a nightmare? The nightmare is Azruddin Mohammed. A nightmare is the Azruddin Mohammed and the wind phenomenon. Getting Nara when he taking with them there. So he went there, he tell the police that all they're going to get promotion. And then the squatter then come, and the squatter made the promotions. But a lot of problems with the thing. As I had anticipated, I love you understand this thing clearly, you know. This has nothing to do with the people who were promoted. Many of them who got promoted deserve their promotion. And the only reason why they were not promoted is because of victimization and the incompetence and the corruption of some of the senior people who were supposed to recommend them. But they were told they're going to get promotion. Then all of a sudden there were conditionalities to the promotion that if you had a disciplinary matter, whenever, whether current or whenever, you are not eligible for promotion. That is what they said. That is what they said. The memo that came out, remember? I read it to y'all. I read it to y'all the day, what the guidelines of promotion. The guidelines came out and they said, despite the fact that the people were led to believe that all those persons who had certain service will be promoted, then the other guideline came out. I have it somewhere. So that if you had a disciplinary matter pending or ever any disciplinary other conviction, you're not entitled to promotion. Well, body by all I got you. Can me understand that about 500 people were cut from the list and they complained, they're groaning, they're bawling. They're complaining, they're groaning, and they're bawling. Right? Then what happened? I'm going to deal with the senior promotion because yesterday, they unconstitutionally promoted people to inspector, senior superintendent, and all this type of thing. Unconstitutionally. But let me deal with the junior ones first. As we had anticipated, as we had said, given the political desperation to promote people to get vote, they were desperate to promote people to buy their vote. We said that is fraught with dangers. It was fraught with dangers. And let me play y'all a tape. Y'all listen to this carefully, students. Listen to it. It's a little longish, but they got to play it for y'all.
Constable, excuse me, your police?
Yes, I know.
Constable, me you dangerous, no?
Just like they book me, must book them fucking ass so. Just so you gonna say them again.
What? Where you know that?
One said,
put on uniform.
Fuck uniform, make me put it on. You make me put on uniform. Let me put on uniform, no?
Police, I'm not about me.
Knock me the Webster.
I'm not about me.
You knock me.
Knock you?
I am far in this
I
fucking
will knock you?
You knock me.
Why should I knock you? I knock you with a pen.
Well, there's you business.
Knock you?
I am fucking ass so the scum later. They go book one of them yet. Let me walk in.
Put on your uniform, man.
I put on nothing. Me friend put on nothing.
Put on your uniform, Constable.
What kind of food who stay black and die? Nothing else.
Put on your uniform, Constable Gilbert.
Hey, so walking there, fucking thing they want. Nobody never book them. Nobody never book them for coming in at 9:30. Come fucking 24 I walk. When them so entry there. I come 10. I call them and tell you I come in 10. I call you and tell you I come in 10.
I think you all hear enough. That is Constable Gilbert. That is Constable Gilbert. Look, story. Look, 24896 Constable Gilbert promoted to corporal. 24896 Constable Gilbert. That same constable here cussing up the sergeant and so on. Promoted to sergeant. To corporal rather. I understand he's promoted to corporal. And then look, let me show you all this. Let me show you all this one. It is said that this is Constable Gilbert at the market. He's selling greens now. All right, I tell you, look, given the level of political interference, the incompetence of the current administration, these things can be surprising, at least not to me. Constable Gilbert telling the sergeant, cussing out the sergeant. Let me play back part of y'all again, in case y'all miss out the part. Right? Listen to the.
Constable, excuse me, your police?
Yes, I know.
Constable, me you dangerous, no?
Just like they book me, must book them fucking ass so. Just so you gonna say them again.
What? Where you know that?
One said,
put on uniform.
Fuck uniform, make me put it on. You make me put on uniform. Let me put on uniform, no?
Police, I'm not about me.
Knock me the Webster.
I'm not about me.
You knock me.
Folks, you're already there for yourself. As I said, that is said to be Constable 124896 Gilbert. The man is promoted to corporal. And they say that the man might have left the job. He's selling squash and shallot, celery outside some other market. We are sure which market is that. I ain't sure which market. You think it's too incompetent, these people incompetent? You think that when you get political interference such as we have now, this is the type of thing that will happen. And as we have said repeatedly, some of these ranks are deserving of their promotion. The only reason why they don't get promoted is because of a vindictive system. Vindictive. Well, people have said to me that since the president made the announcement that he can promote people, which he has no legal authority to do, none whatsoever, Jackie Opel visited. Jackie Opel let the rank start to run to start for pay for get promotion. That somebody said it's a normal side job. Somebody says it's a normal side job. See the police does a side job, he's selling squash and things. But the man is now a corporal. A man is now a corporal, and they talk about discipline. So are they going to tell us that notwithstanding what the abuse, the criminal abuse, because he should have been charged and dismissed from the force for that type of conduct, right? So the Bible said maybe the sergeant didn't charge you. They didn't do nothing. All right, let me assume for argument's sake that the sergeant then reported. Wait, y'all don't get your PR section, y'all monitoring all them social media for bring the attention to the administration, this constable's behavior. And the sergeant, if the sergeant did not report his conduct, he too should have been disciplined. He too should have been disciplined, Sergeant Webster. Constable tell you, but look, let me tell you something. Insubordination. Yes, Evelyn, insubordination. And the fact that he used expletive, it is still only insubordination. He should be charged and put before the court. He should be charged and put before the court because we still have in the books used it in decent language. Well, they might argue not in public, but it would appear as though others were there. So, but that is a breakdown in discipline. And let me tell you all something. With this promotion that they bring out, worse going to happen. Worse. A man complained to me. He said he was a corporal at a station. Now a constable with enough years, I think, a no good constable, turned sergeant, and he is still the corporal there. He was his corporal ahead of the constable. Constable now turned sergeant, from constable to corporal. Yes, Dudley and others. Many persons have been promoted from constable to sergeant, from lance corporal to sergeant. And many persons who held the rank of corporal are still, and lance corporal are still there where they were. You tell me how they're going to improve efficiency, how they're going to improve discipline in the organization. Tell me how that can happen. Well, let me tell you all this in respect to that constable behavior. Right? First of all, in my days, no constable is cussing a sergeant like that because he would have been placed under close arrest. And if he resisted, he would have been manhandled and dealt with appropriately. Right? Because there's criminal behavior. Let me understand, let me tell you. No constable, and if at all a constable had dared to cuss any sergeant, he would have been arrested, he would have been placed under close arrest. The Police Discipline Act provides for that. And if he resisted, he would have been dealt with. But that's what's going on in the police force now. That is what is going on in the police force. So I'm telling you that you got situation where people just get promoted willy-nilly. A man tell me they got 5 sergeants at one location now. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to do some shuffling. But they have exceeded the establishment by many dozens. They have more sergeants than the establishment called for, more corporal than the establishment called for, more lance corporals. The only rank that they don't have enough of would be constables. And that is a problem that has been pointed out for the longest while with this corrupt government, this incompetent government. Because in the police force, it has been top-heavy for the longest while. Meaning that what happens, they fill all the supervisory ranks. They're going to tell you the shorter police ranks. When the shorter ranks, the shorter constables. They don't shout a corporal and sergeant and when they get promotion. They fill all of those vacancies. But what happened? A lot of chiefs and no Indians, as they would say. That is the reality, and I dare them to contradict that. So what happened? The people promoted for the 4th of August as instructed by the president. All right. They can dance with that, as we had said, as we had anticipated on Monday. They're going to get the squatter to do the promotion because the Constitution says the Commissioner of Police will promote corporals, including lance corporals and sergeants. instruct, he said he did a promotion. They did it so hardly, as we can see, Gilbert get corporal. And others as well, with no conduct or bad conduct, get promoted. Then we are waiting to see what they will do with the senior persons in the absence of the Police Service Commission. The Police Service Commission, which was chaired by Bishop Finley, the life of the commission ended on the 30th of May this year. The life of the commission ended on the 30th of May this year. Right? I ain't asking, I'm telling them. The Constitution, Mr. Conway had read it to y'all, provides for the commission to get 3 years. The life is 3 years and end automatically. So on the 29th of May this year, the commission life would have ended. But we saw where this bishop, posing as a chairman of the Police Service Commission, went to Region 9, so he talking to ranks. And we said it is unconstitutional, it's illegal. So what they do? They decided, they sit down, you know, they just listen. Listen, we said commission unconstitutional, the commission life was ended and so on. So they decided, they bring out Leroy Smith, yes, to give his opinion. The police asked, he said, well, he believed that the president as commander-in-chief of the armed forces can, nonsense, nonsense. President has no such authority. And as I said on Monday, the police is not a part of the armed forces. The police is part of Ghana to get the discipline services. Discipline services comprised of GDF, police, fire, prison. Even town constabulary weren't not a part of the discipline services. I used to attend those meetings. I used to be the chair of the sports committee and all of that. They are not a part, right? So, all right. They decide, they listen to me, and they decide they're going to make the promotion. So, here what they do? They put Akin, a dunce like Akin, to write the letter to the ranks. So, yesterday, and ranks are still receiving the letter. Those who have been promoted to senior superintendent, and I know at least 3 persons promoted to senior superintendent. Stanley, yeah, same Stanley, who killed a man in Bobby's in an accident, and then they transfer you to Region 8. He got promoted to senior superintendent. Chevron Jupiter, yeah, same Chevron Jupiter, who had joined with Brutus and took the Police Service Commission to court. He got promoted, and he got his by, what's his name? I forget the name. He was this traffic chief at some time. And again, I say some of these people deserving of the promotion. But they are promoted. But here they put a dunce like Akin to write this thing. So what you write to them and tell them? And Mr. Akin, Commissioner Squatter, I saw one of the letters. You ask me what see it. I saw one letter. It says, let me read what it says. Let me read. It says that the Police Service Commission they use it past tense. The Police Service Commission, this is a letter signed on the 5th of August 2025. Right? And here what Akin writes to say, the Police Service Commission had approved your appointment effective from January 1, 2025. Let me analyze that. Akin wrote to these senior officers, I don't know many of them yet, because they decide they're not prepared. They try to keep it on the down low. They don't want the media and people pick up on it. So whereas normally a release would have been issued to say all these people are promoted, as they did with the junior ranks, they're not doing that with the senior people. They just call them easily and give them a letter to say they are promoted. They add, and they say, the Police Service Commission had approved your appointment from the 1st of January 2025. That's what I say. Now, hear this. Yeah, Stevens is one of the persons, right? Stevens, right? So it's Stanley Jupiter Stevens. I saw those, right? Stevens was traffic officer. Now, the story here is this. Yeah, listen. If the Police Service Commission had approved their promotion from the 1st of January 2025, why was it not released on the 26th of February 2025 when all those promotions were made? All those promotions were made on the 26th, released on the 26th of February this year. And Akin is writing now to tell people that they were promoted, the Police Service Commission had promoted you from the 1st of January 2025. That's to the senior people. And here, what is done though? He wrote to the inspectors, at least a sub-few inspectors, to tell them that the Police Service Commission had, again, promote you from the 1st of August 2025 How can the Police Service Commission promote people on the 4th of August 2025 when the life ended in May 2025? Oh, you explain that. You explain that, Mr. Clifton Aiken. Squatter, extended squatter. Right? You explain that. And you know what they're going to do now? They're going to also to recall all them letters. I like how we just get them on. They're going to also to recall the letters and say it's a mistake. The letters say to those persons, telling them that the inspectors, at least the inspectors, that they had been promoted, the people who were promoted to inspect them referring to, that they had been promoted from the 1st of August 2025. And to the senior officers, the right to tell them that they had been promoted from the 1st of January 2025. Again, I ask the question, if they were promoted from the 1st of January 2025, how come when promotions were released on the 26th of February 2025, they were not included? They were not included. And coming to the ones who is promoted from the 1st of August, the Police Service Commission life ended on the 30th or the 31st of May 2025. They have absolutely no authority to admin promote people from the 1st of August. I take a long but let me bring in Mr. Conway, man. Let me bring Mr. Conway. CC, go ahead.
You know, and they're doing so much cover up. Some of the person what they wrote, the envelope get for the sake of argument, Inspector John Jones. And then when you right now in the letter itself, dear sir, it don't get no name, no, just dear sir. So the envelope gave me name, but the letter that you're gonna write me tell me that I had been promoted. It and the letter and get me name inside there. So the promotion is who get promoted is dear sir get promoted. And you know, some of the things that went wrong there. And let me put things in proper context. We're talking about this senior promotion. And I can't put a religious thing in front of his name. So I'm going to call him Patrick Finley. I can't put because he's ungodly. No, he has a proclivity to not telling the truth. I recall when they had a promotion, previous promotion, on a Saturday in an interview with Big Smith, he said that he was waiting on the recommendations from the commissioner, I think it was Happy at the time there, for ranks to be promoted. That's a Saturday afternoon. Big Smith interview. No, sorry, Saturday morning after church service. And the next day, 250 something persons were promoted. So I know how come Saturday morning you're waiting for the list and Sunday morning, well, I think along Saturday night, you promoted 257 persons, including in the promotion persons who left the work, including persons with disciplinary matters, including persons who didn't pass the promotion exam. Endless supervision, endless supersessions without justification. And to cry it off, they had one preliminary and inspector. They made him a triple jumper from inspector to superintendent. A whole lot of political appointments. That's how Finley started out. That's how he started out. And it continue now. When you go up on the list, they're backdating. They're backdating. They promote, you know. And let me look at it too. Where the president go and say about promotion. when he has no authority whatsoever, nothing whatsoever, and political instructions to the police, political interference in the Ghana police force. And when he talked to them, there was a theme running through. I promote you and you promote me. Quid pro quo. I promote you and you promote me. That's why they had them park up and say, you want to talk there? Praise the president. People who join in 2025 get 20 years service. Some of them join in 2030 and get promoted. That the whole thing became a joke with his promotion. A joke with his promotion when they are there. Endless supervision, endless persons who won't pass exam, and endless persons who get display matters spending. And I hear they promote so much people that they run out of stripe. If you got the quarter master now for stripe, you don't get. Perhaps Brutus ain't buy enough, or Brutus can afford seeing this. Brutus buy enough toilet paper and other things, so the quarter master ain't get stripe. Then when look at the establishment, endless irregularities take place. But I was reading the Bible last night, and I want to leave. I can't remember the exact chapter verse, and I want to read it to Patrick Finley. And part of why I read it is, the wages of sin is death. Another one, if you know your master's will and you do it not, you shall be beaten with many stripes. Bad association spoils useful habits. And show me your company, and I tell you who you are. That's what I want to leave with Patrick Finley. I go on over. The wages of sin is death. He said, bad association spoils useful habits. Show me your company, and I tell you who you are. And if you know your master's will, and you do it not, you shall be beaten with many stripes. It's unconstitutional. The Police Service Commission term done is in their instrument, the last line of your instrument that they would give you, signed by the president, telling you it's for 3 years. At the end of the 3 years, that is for 3 years. And then again, it wasn't fully constituted. They're supposed to get 5 members, they only get 4. Because Conway died a long time ago last year. And the Chief Justice had a ruling saying he must get all 5 members. And when you get 5, well, then 3 could be a quorum, the chairman and 2 other persons, but you must get 5. They get 4. The chairman of the Public Service Commission and 3 other members that were nominated to the National Assembly. This whole thing, it stinks to high heaven. And here's it, you have a man named Patrick Finley, who's supposed to be a man of God. I said supposed to be a man of God there. But maybe for a few dollars more. The Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. And if the head of the Police Service Commission not obeying the Constitution, well then all hell breaks loose.
Student tell you, the student saying, you're talking about Romans 6:23 there, right? Romans 6:23. We student sharp, Let me read this to you all. Remember they say, G.H. Clay Lal, what we have today is not a government, but a gang of gangsters. For the most part, what Guyanese have for leaders today are nothing but out of control lunatics, pathological liars, unreconstructive racists, and political sadists. That is what he said. That is what GHK Lal said. Look, we can't done with this because I'm saying that this act by the president unconstitutional to say that he promote. Of course, they're going to argue is a commission who make the promotion. It is unconstitutional, and it should be challenged in a court. Especially those, well, as I said, what is Squatter going to run for? You could predict them, you know. They're going to run now for change. They're going to call them, but he don't call you already. Oh, you put the thing for January, for August 1. You know, we tell you should have put it before the life of the commission ended. They're going to read it to you. But he don't. See, I should have written that yourself, and let you sign. He does. So he wrote to the senior people, and I left out Barker, because Barker gets senior superintendent too. Deserving, I should say. He wrote to the senior people to tell them that the Police Office Commission had promoted them in January 2025. But somehow they didn't release it in February 2025. So now that the president talked on the 30th of July, they're now releasing it. All right. So maybe they got it covered there. But when he got to write to people now and tell them that they had been promoted from the 1st of August, that is unconstitutional legal. You're going to wriggle room out of that. They're going to call you and they're going to blaze you backside over that. No self going to fairy tale. Because he is confirming that the Police Office Commission acted unconstitutionally. But I tell y'all get done so for just sign the thing and write them thing. What you expect? Let me play this one for y'all. Let me play this one.
And this country got some really stupid people, really.
Yeah, and I got some stupid people, boy. Guyana got some stupid people, boy. That's the anthem when they planning to deploy. A fresh coat at right before elections. Small body combat, skip the inspections. The road broke up 1 week later, but we still get broke by the same dictator. We stupid, now we just tired. Watching them sell the future, we inspired. Them say we backward, don't know we work, but we watching them budgets swell up like bird. Millions vanish like it take a flight, and all we get is black hat and pothole fright. Poor cost high, dreams in a vice, but the minister just buy a third paradise. School little children can't get lunch for eat, but the house got marble and gold tile suite. Vote buying in play, they got the script. Paint a little cross and do a quick road fix. Development coming, they sing that song, but 5 years done and the pipe still wrong. We ain't stupid, we done woke up. Now we checking receipts and calling bluff. This the year we flip the page, turn that stupid into righteous rage. They think we stupid, cause we humble and poor, but we've been taking notes since 94. We see who get land, new family rich, who get contracts and who get ditched. They laugh at we hustle, call we names while them deep in suit and running games. But tell me, who really looking dumb when the people rise and beat that drum? We got eyes wide open, ears to the ground. Truth like fire, it can't stay down, belly empty. But the mindful fed this revolution, cooking homemade bread, wobble the road and take the praise. Them say one broke it in 7 days. Who said we stupid, blind and slow, but we they counting every dollar them blow. Who build the road and take the praise? Them say one broke it in 7 days. Who said we stupid, blind and slow, but we they counting every dollar them blow. Who get rich off duty free perks while we punishing and hustling work like clerks? Who said the system fair and clean? Them bribe the judge behind the screen. So tell me now, we stupid still? Nah man, we sharp and ready for the kill. What we voting with this time round? Brains, backbone and boots on the ground. Guyana got some stupid people, boy, but you're mistaking silence for joy. We quiet, but we fed up to the max. This time we voting with receipts and facts. We done with crumbs, done with tricks. We know who mash up the country bricks by bricks. Y'all laugh
say we're going now with the cameras. There's a female washroom here, there's a bar here. The management explained to me that when you come and if you're going to use the pool, closed circuit television cameras were active at the Doubleday Hotel during the time 11-year-old Adriana Young went missing, according to Dr. Dexter Todd, the attorney representing the child's family. And as you can see, you see the pool here, clear.
Folks, y'all gotta make up your mind. The evidence is there. All the corruption. I'm gonna show you some more corruption. I got a little time. Let me bring in Mr. Conway to say something, and then we're gonna close off. Mr. Conway, give your closing, and we're gonna move on. CC, over to you.
All right, and seeing that we are on to Adriano, I want to read this quote, this FBI quote, managing death investigation. And this is what we had. I did managing death investigation. And this was the inner cover. This was our theme. No greater honor will ever be bestowed on an officer, or a more profound duty on him, than when he is entrusted with the investigation into the death of a human being. It is his duty to find the facts, regardless of color or creed, without prejudice, and let no pawn or deter him from presenting the facts to the court without regard to personality. I heard the crime chief said the investigation is active, and this is my message to those investigators if they get any of quality. Remember, you're investigating the death of a human being, the death of Adriana, and she was murdered. Some other thing. Now, I'm wondering what Sanction Senior Superintendent Saw is doing at Mabaromo Region 1. On Monday, according to my information, he flew into Mabaromo in civilian clothing. He was met by the police. They saluted him, and he jumped into a police jeep and scooted away. And a taximan said certain thing. The taximan said, "Oh, business as usual. So I'll come back. Business as usual. The drug runnings and the fuel runnings will continue as usual." I don't know what you mean. And expect more things to come on, because the president went at the officers' mess. I remember talk about seagull management. There's it, he repeated seagull management. You hear like something go wrong, or he had a nightmare. He flew in, make a lot of noise, crap up on everybody, shit up everybody, and then he flew away and left the king in the shit, left he in the sauce. And that's why all these things we see coming up there, because all this illegal, unconstitutional promotion. Yes, people deserve promotion. I'm happy when people get promotion, and now you're entitled to promotion, you must get your promotion. But don't do it illegally. Don't be unconstitutional. There are ways and means. And don't do it in the name of getting votes. Quid pro quo. I help you, you help me. I promote you, and you promote me. Get the people there to stand up and talk. I saw them was saying for take back the praise because they didn't get nothing. They said they're going to go up on more video, and then they said they're going to take back the praise that they had given the president for promoting them. And here, the quartermaster store, Naga stripe, all them stripe done.
All the stripe done. When you said that again, they left the kid in the shit. That is where he belongs. They left him where he belongs. We talk about corruption. Let me tell y'all about corruption, right? They get a company called Luxury Auto Custom and Detailing. The newest student, I'm going to go to the whole thing, right? Ministry of Agriculture, auto vehicle PYY 8940. On January the 24th, 2023, they did internal steaming and buffing, $95,000. On January the 24th, for the same vehicle, tire treatment and engine wash, That and along with two others, $138,500. In March 2023, on the 22nd of March 2023, detailing and tire treatment for the same vehicle, PYY 8940, $138,500. On May the 17th, 2023, internal steaming and shampooing. Listen to this. The same PYY 8930 on June the 30th, on May the 17th, 2023, internal steaming and shampooing, $824,000 Guyana dollars. Listen to this, internal steaming and shampooing. The same vehicle again in June 30th, 2023. Detailing and tire treatment, $165,300. The same vehicle again, August the 23rd, internal detailing, general repairs, $279,300. August 2023, 17th of August, external detailing. So on the 15th, you had internal detailing, $279,300. 2 days after, external detailing, $144,780. The same vehicle next month, September the 20th, 2023, external detailing, $205,000, but it was there with some others, two others. October the 16th, 2023, internal steaming, $74,100. November the 24th, external detailing, $169,860. December the 27th, 2023, internal and external detailing, $156,180. That is what you have corrupt. Again, more. You can talk about no. They talk about corruption. And then you get kleptocracy. What we have is a government, as a government, is a kleptocracy. And let me tell you all the meaning. They say kleptocracy is derived from the ancient Greek word meaning thief and rule. That is what kleptocracy means. Thief and rule. Refers to the form of government where leaders use their political power to enrich themselves at the expense of the public. This often involves stealing public funds and resources, bribing officials, and using international connections to launder the wealth. Kleptocracy, this is what we have. We have a kleptocracy in Guyana parading as a government. A kleptocracy parading as a government. And let me see if you find this one. I will show y'all. Maybe next time, not today, right? But you have so much corruption going on. So much corruption. And then they come and they tell you all kind of things. Look this one here. Look at this one. This is a Rolls Royce Black Badge Spectre. It is alleged that a particular minister bought this vehicle. The market recommended price, $559,000 US, almost $600,000 US. And you want to tell me these people deserve a second chance? You really want to tell me that these deserve a second chance? Right? No, Chilo. This vehicle will pay the penalties more. You don't get in a secret that has transport dead in them. It's dead they're transporting so that a vehicle. I can tell you all more about other ministries. This is only one ministry, Ministry of Agriculture. Other ministries, including the Ministry of Home Affairs, with the same company, Luxury Auto Customs and Detailing. Luxury Auto Customs and Detailing. I don't know who owned it. I don't know the relationship between the owner and other people. I know. Because I do my investigation. I know. That is what's going on. It's corruption. How do you just... let me read this part back. Let me read this one. This is on May the 17th. Note, I'm giving you all date, I'll give you all date. May the 17th, 2023. Internal steaming and shampooing, $824,000 to steam a vehicle. There's a cost maybe a whole vehicle. That is what's going on in the country. That is what's going on. And you telling me in all seriousness that this corrupt kleptocratic government deserves a second chance? Huh? You want to tell me that this kleptocratic government, this thieving government, God has said the word kleptocracy, the origin is Greek, meaning thief. Thief and govern. That's what kleptocracy means. Thief and govern. And then you have this. Let me show you all this.
Sit there and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
So my relationship, nothing. He's a tenant in my place. Yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes. Yes. He is a friend of ours.
He claims.
She had asked you about ours, man. She asked you, is he a friend of yours? Is he a friend of yours? Are you dancing? Look. I'm going to play it often and I continue to play it. I have more to play. Because it galls me when people like Barrett Jagdeo stands there as he will do tomorrow, or sits there as he will do tomorrow, and call people corrupt, call people dishonest and all that. That allegation made against him has not been investigated. And I continue to say that he might be innocent, because you're innocent until presumed guilty. Until proven guilty. You're presumed innocent. Some of us, not all, some of us are presumed innocent until proven guilty. The Constitution guarantees that. But I'm saying, Barrett Jagdeo running the country, and if he wanted to clear his name, he could have commissioned a credible investigation to clear his name. I mean, he's Sue, and he's going to get default judgment, I guess, against Sue. But that doesn't remove the allegation, that doesn't clear his name, that he taken $500,000 from Chinese businessmen for contract. They just shoot the wrong side. And they have other aspects of this tape that I will continue to play. And you want to tell me in all honesty and all seriousness that this man deserves a fourth term? Because he's up on the third term, you know. Don't forget, they're talking about the re-election of Irfan Ali for a second term. No, it's Jagdeo. They're trying to re-elect Jagdeo for his fourth term because he's up on the third term now. Everybody know Jagdeo running the show. Jagdeo is now on his third term. His third term. And they tell you he wants to go back there for fourth term with his sidekick Irfan Ali. But look, here you go. And the people in Linden and all those people who are crying out for justice for Adriana and all these things, you all have an opportunity on September the 1st, September the 1, as they would say. Go there and express all your frustration by marking your X for APNU. A plug-in for APNU now. Mark your X for APNU. In all seriousness and in all fairness. Look what they do to the police force. They're trying to buy vote. They're destroying the police force. They're destroying the police force that we all serve and love so much. They're doing something similar with the army. I have something we'll show with the army. Time run out on it. We can show it on the next program. All because they want vote. They don't care what happened to the institutions in Guyana once they get a chance to go back. That is their position. Broke up everything. Once we get an opportunity to go back there to thief more, that is the aim. Not to develop. All them broke up road. Look, they're talking about light. I understand blackout in Guyana, Georgetown and East Coast. Extended period recently. That's how some switch. We understand they're supposed to spend $600 and something thousand US a month for some company for come for supervise the thing. And they get, what name? Cash Nandalal or somebody they bring back. Nandalal body or family for run GPL. That is what's going on. Lion Mark Phillips. I can tell you all about that another time. It is too much. It is too much. People punishing in the place. People punishing. And you want to tell me those same people who are punishing are going to drink this Kool-Aid and say, you're putting these people back for punishment? That is what you're going to do? Comrade, you get the opportunity to get rid of these people. Please do so. Police, all the discrimination and swine in the police force. And when you look, the people who are promoted to senior superintendent, Barker, Stanley, Jupiter, and Stevens. Stanley is East Indian extraction. One of the four Akal, one is an East Indian. I know what the people saying. The reason why is because all them others can get promoted already. All the other people of Indian ethnicity in that level don't get a promotion already. They don't get it. So that's what they got to do now. They don't get no choice. They want to show. Well, they're not showing nothing. They want to buy votes. And that is why they do it. The next thing that I heard, and I believe what the dream or the vision you get is that police are likely to go towards Azzuddin Mohammed. Because I know Christmas time they used to get a little tap up. So he's trying to counter that. Run into the place there, Seagull management, flying make enough noise, shut up, make enough noise, and go away. That is what has happened. Folks, we've had a long morning. The Gospel Life, we're going to come here again. And let me thank you for your attendance, Fantastic attendance today, which was anticipated. The Cash App, WhatsApp, the Cash App, and thing number, Zelle number, MMG number are there for those people who want to, who can afford to make a contribution. Please do so. So, God's Prayer Life, Kadaman, I said God's Prayer Life, Kadaman who been talking there the other night, the headmaster, the PVP candidate, he can never expect that he going to drop down during the PVP meeting and die. So everything is up to the Lord. So if God spare our life, we're going to be here Friday afternoon. Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock for another episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption, Incompetence. We have a lot of things that we couldn't talk about today. We're going to bring them. And things are so fluid that between now and Friday afternoon, more things can happen. Because I suspect they'll run to try to correct some of the irregularities. But can't correct. It is there, cast in stone. Illegalities by the president. The president is a serial violator of the Constitution. And even though Article 94 provides for him to be thrown out of office, September 1 provides an opportunity for all right-thinking people. The people at Linden, the people at West Dem, where they kill Adriana Young, the people on the East Coast, and all those places, you have an opportunity to make your voices heard, get rid of the kleptocrats, get rid of the violators of the Constitution. Folks, God is a dangerous place. And I always tell you, stay safe, stay well, until we meet again. Bye.